Welcome to the 11.2 launch week guide. There's a lot of new content coming in the Ghosts of Karesh patch, so this video will be your guide to all the new content to make sure you don't miss out on any of it and show you what to focus on first when the patch goes live. Let's dive in. So first of all, you'll want to unlock the new zone, Karesh. Now to do this, you need to begin the campaign. You will get a quest called a Shadowy Invitation when you log in. If this doesn't automatically pop up for you, then check your suggested content in the journal by pressing Shift J or going to the NPC here. You will want to start this campaign and follow it through up to Chapter 3 during Week 1. The story is really good here guys, with some surprises along the way for you. I will not give you any spoilers in this video, so do not worry. I mean, you've probably seen them by now anyway. But whether you have or haven't, when it launches, get stuck into the campaign, follow that through as long as you can, and enjoy. Get familiar with Tazavesh and the vendors around there, do the side quests and just enjoy the zone. It really is a fantastic zone, such a cool place to be in, and hey, you can fly. There's no need to unlock flying in this zone. You can fly as soon as you get there. It is made up of different broken islands, so it would make it quite difficult to get around if you couldn't fly. But wait a minute, how do you get back to Donegal? Now, what you can do is when you very first enter Tazavesh, if you turn around, there'll be a massive portal there at the back of you. You can just jump straight through that big portal there to go back to Donegal. Alternatively, there is a portal to the Delver's headquarters from here. Now you unlock this when you complete the relevant quests, so shortly into the campaign. I do think this may also be tied to the quest from Bran as well, when he explains what's going on with the Season 3 Delves. So first on the agenda is to complete the campaign as far as you can, and also unlock your Reshii Wraps. So this will be your new artifact level cloak for this patch. You're going to need this to get into the new raid, Manaforge Omega, and it is tied to the new phase diving activity that you can do around Karesh. More on that shortly. So when you first get the cloak, it's basically a big stat block that starts at item level 694. You can add fibers to this to specify which secondary stats you want on your cloak, so you do have the choice. And good news for ults. You can skip the campaign up to this part, but you do need to unlock the quick quest line with Hashim, which the quest will guide you to. Now once you get to this guy, you just basically speak to him and say, I need new Reshii Wraps, and he'll give you the cloak. Hashim is located at Overlook Zoshul, coordinates 5036. The quest will simply guide you to this, so all you need to do for this is begin the 11.2 campaign, but then head into Tazavesh. When you get to Omen, then just click the skip dialogue there, and that will guide you to go and get the cloak. Super simple. So you will be able to power up this cloak every week. Now you do that by collecting ethereal strands and attaching those to it. When you level this cloak up, which is basically done by this talent point system as you can see here, you get different abilities and features from the cloak, as well as increasing its overall item level all the way up to item level 730. So the quest line initially will introduce you to fibers and show you how they work, and once you complete chapter 3 of the campaign, you should get a quest called A Skip Through the Void. This is where you talk to Hashim and he can explain the artifact and the phase diving system in more detail. So the first 3 strands come from the chapter 3 of the campaign. The following ethereal strands that you need to collect will come from various sources, including the Warrant quests, more on those shortly, End of Delve chests, raid bosses, dungeon bosses, and winning PvP matches. Now this is time gated, so you can't farm all these ethereal strands at once and get your cloak juiced up week 1. You can earn 3 ethereal strands per week, but that cap is a rolling cap. So if you did start a few weeks later in the season than everybody else, you could just catch up to the current week's cap, which might be 12 at that point. So the Reshii Wraps adapt to your current combat specialisation, depending on if you're tanking, healing or dealing damage. DPS players get Ethereal Reaping, which gives your damaging abilities a chance to deal damage split between your target and nearby enemies. This does do more damage to enemies below 35% health. Healers get Ethereal Reconstitution, which can proc on a heal on an injured ally, and if it does overheal the person, then it grants an Absorb Shield instead. Now, tanks get Ethereal Protection. This is going to give your abilities a chance to grant you an Absorb Shield. There is a secondary element to this, which is like an emergency thing. So if you drop below 40% health, then it gives you the same shield, but at 500% effectiveness. This can only occur once every 6 minutes though, so quite a long internal cooldown for that. These effects did just get buffed recently too. Details of how you can see on the screen. So remember, for Season 3 of the War Within, because we have the Reshii Wraps now, we don't want to get a crafted cloak, because we're going to be using this cloak for basically the whole season, probably until the end of the expansion at this point as well. In week 1 of the patch, if you want to get a head start on your gearing, you can start to fill up your weekly vault. So I would highly recommend doing a Mythic 0 World Tour to get a full vault row on the dungeon section, and you can also unlock delves again, starting from tier 4 and above. And I would recommend doing tier 8s or tier 7s even, and just do 8 of those to get a full delve tier as well. I am going to be doing a full Season 3 gearing guide for the War Within, so if you want to check that out, do check the link in the description if it's already out. If it isn't already out, please do check back on the channel in a couple of days' time, so feel free to subscribe to be notified for that, and you can check out the video once it releases. So the Reshii Wraps will allow us to do this activity called phase diving. Now this is a new thing, and you do need the Reshii Wraps to be able to do this. So it is only accessible after Chapter 3 of the campaign. So around Karesh, you'll find these portals where you can enter the phase diving version of the zone. It's a bit like another layer of the zone which changes up what you can perceive. So there will be different rares and treasures in here, and even different world quests as well that you can find while phase diving. Think of it a little bit like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. There are these different phase conduits that you'll find all around Karesh. Now, you do need to go and unlock them, just a bit similar to how you would unlock a flight path. So approach them, enter the other phase, and then you'll discover them as well. I highly recommend that you do this early on and interact with any of these as you go past them. You can use these to very quickly travel around Karesh, so this will save you a lot of time. Do note that you cannot currently mount up in the phase diving version of Karesh. Eventually, you will be able to use ground mounts in the zone once you power up the cloak enough, but you won't ever be able to fly in this version of the zone. But during week 1, once the cloak is unlocked, you can go phase diving, so go and kill some of the rares in the phase and complete any of the world quests that are available in that phase as well. With rank 2 of the cloak, you can find these phase orbs that give you a big primary stat boost whilst phase diving, and when you loot these orbs, you do have a chance to get some phase lost items, the list of which you can find on the link in the description below. So these are basically old or unobtainable transmog appearances. Pretty cool. When you get to rank 3 of the cloak, you get a chance to get more of those orbs of power, and they can now drop from mob kills. So you can also now mount up while phase diving, but not fly. Rank 4 of the Reshii Wraps gives you the ability to see phase lost exchequer chests during phase diving. And when you get to rank 5 of the Reshii Wraps, you get the achievement Power of the Reshii, and this also unlocks for you the cosmetics, the Reshii hood and mantle. Now these match the Reshii Wrap, so you basically got this nice set going on there if you like it. So what about reputation in 11.2? We do indeed have a new faction, the Kareshi Trust. Now you can start earning rep with these guys immediately as you do the campaign quests. The best source of rep is going to be those campaign quests as always, but you can get rep through side quests and killing rares, looting treasures and completing world quests, all the usual methods. The Renown vendor for the Karesh Trust, Omsirik, is in the northernmost building in Tazavesh. Now you can find him at coordinates /way 2472 40 29. There are lots of important unlocks tied to the Karesh Trust Renown. For example, one of the weekly features, the Warrants. When you get to level 3 Renown, you are able to go to a guy called Constable xal'atath in Tazavesh and start getting these weekly warrant quests. More on those shortly. There's also other cosmetics and mounts and gear to unlock from the Renown 2, so do start to get Renown with them as best you can. So, one of the weekly activities in Karesh, I just previously mentioned the Warrants. So you unlock these when you get to level 3 Renown, and you get the ability to accept this weekly quest from Constable xal'atath to complete Warrants, which are basically quest series where you target a specific creature or enemy. You do some quests to learn more about them, track them down, sometimes create a lore, and then go and defeat the creature in question. And this is again a weekly quest, so make sure you do this each week. I'm not sure if there will be another sort of catch-up mechanism with this, or if you simply have to wait for any weeks you've missed to roll around again. There are some achievements tied to completing varying amounts of warrants. The first one comes from completing 2, the second from 4, and the last one, Vigilante, comes from completing all of the warrants in Karesh. And this does get you a mount, the Terror of the Night, so definitely get these done as part of your weekly activities. And the second weekly activity to do in Karesh is the Ecological Succession. So this is where you've got these sort of biomes in Karesh, these eco-domes, and because Karesh is in a bit of a bad state, let's put it that way, You've got Venari, who is part of the storyline here as well, who wants to bring life back to Karesh as best as she can. So you will go on hunts in places around the old world to gather creatures and bring them back to Karesh and then help them to settle in, basically. Venari basically wants to see Karesh thrive. You know, why not? And there's not much more to say on this. There are rewards tied to the ecological succession activity. So yeah, definitely worth getting stuck in. There is a lot to do in 11.2, so what are you most excited for? I'll pop a summary, a bit of a TLDR or a weekly checklist of what to focus on during the patch on the screen here. Now feel free to screenshot this and use this for your own purposes, but do let me know in the comments what are you most looking forward to in this patch. I think personally for me, it's seeing how the story unfolds and what the Dimensius boss fight is actually like. It's going to be the biggest boss we've ever faced, so are we going to win? Will we lose for once? Let's find out. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel for more guides and content from me, the Drowsy Dragon. Do head on over and join us in Discord as well. The link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a brilliant day and enjoy patch 11.2. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.